What is going on, guys? One more time, guys, a brand new video, and this is going to be a different type of video. We're going to be talking about a crazy experience I had a couple months ago, because this week is Halloween, so I thought what would be better than to talk about this experience in the week of Halloween, so I've been saving it for this moment. 2 months ago, I was in San Diego. We were in the area visiting my family. My cousin, she turned 100, and we went to go celebrate, and we were only there for a couple days, and I was like, man, I'd like to, do something in the California area, something you can't do back home. And in our hotel, there was a little pamphlet, they have like a little brochures and stuff. There was one for the Whaley house. And as a paranormal guy, you guys know I like the paranormal. I was like, oh, I've heard about the Whaley house, one of the most active houses in America. Our last night, we had to leave the hotel at 5 a.m. And I went and I did the full-on tour that starts at like 10 o'clock. So, I didn't get a whole lot of sleep that night, but I really wanted to go check out the Whaley house and really use the real equipment. They had the whole arsenal of equipment at our fingertips. Now, I'm not going to go through the whole history of the Whaley house. If you guys want that, there's plenty of great videos here on YouTube. You can do that. I'm still talking about my experience and give a little bits of the story where it's important. All right, guys. I'm making a decision. Could be stupid. Could be cool. As you guys know, I'm into the paranormal. I have a flight. Well, not a flight. I had to be at the airport in like 6 hours to fly home. But you know what we're doing, guys? We're going to the Whaley house. One of the most haunted places in America, maybe even in the world. And we're going to go do a paranormal investigation. Found out about it yesterday. Ordered me a ticket. And he said, you know what, YOLO? Who needs sleep? Let's go to the most haunted place in America. And see what we can find. Let's see what happens. And a little nervous, a little excited. I'm not new to the paranormal stuff. I've experienced it my whole life, but this is a different beast, lion's den walking into. But I'm excited. Let's get it. I go to the Whaley house, and I got an Uber like really early to get there because you never know how traffic's going to be, especially around the airport in California. So I got there really early. There was a weird dude standing outside the Whaley house with a bunch of pencils, and he went, hello. And I went, you know what? I don't want to wait here for 40 minutes with this dude. So as a small town kid, what is our favorite place? Our local Mexican restaurant. And there was one right there beside the Whaley house. So I said, I'm going there. I went there, and the guy, I was like, are y'all still open? He's like, yeah, you can come sit at the bar. And I had a drink and talked with the crew there. Someone was actually from Virginia. It's kind of crazy, and actually knew my town. The fact that someone in San Diego knew my town, wild. After about 40 minutes of just, chilling there, I went to the Whaley house. I might have had a shot or two. Feeling ready to talk to some ghosts. May or may not have gotten to the Whaley house very early. May not have been right beside a Mexican restaurant. And may or may not have taken a couple of tequila shots to kind of calm the nerves before this investigation. Feeling good. Let's get it. Got to the house, and I was expecting this really dark feeling, because I've been to some paranormal places where you get this very dark feeling. Like when we walk up to the Randolph house in Williamsburg, I haven't even been in the Randolph house, but you can just feel this darkness that kind of radiates around it. You can feel the negative energy. I will say, when walking around the Whaley house, I didn't feel that. Now, going up, that could have been the alcohol talking. That was one thing I noticed, was it felt very, I wouldn't say warm, but just welcoming, I guess. I don't know. So I went, and then the tour guide came. The tour guide was really cool. And I don't have a lot of footage because we weren't really supposed to be filming. I have a little bits of footage when I was by myself. But the kind of rule of thumb, because I contacted them before I went about filming, you don't film on a tour just because people there aren't there to be filmed. They're there for the tour. But you can go and do your own tour. And I have talked to them about going back maybe next year or sometime doing an actual tour with the equipment. So just know that's in the works. We'll see. But for a little bit of history of the Whaley house, it was constructed in 1857, and it's been about everything you could imagine it was. It's been a courthouse, it's been a hospital, a family home, and also people were hanged there. So, there's a lot of darkness. A lot of people died in the house. A lot of tragedy has filled the walls. Deaths of suicide, scarlet fever. And then there's the Marianne, who wasn't directly living in the house, but she was poisoned by a bottle that she thought was a toy. And it's believed that her entity remains in the house because she was related to the family. And I supposedly contacted Marianne later in the video, and you guys will see a little bit of that footage. But the tour guide walked us through the house, gave us, the history of each room, and told us, where were the active spots, make sure you're respectful in this room, like the theater room. The first, community theater in San Diego was in the second floor of that house. It was really cool. It was like almost like a fire escape that was outside where people would walk in and out. A very condensed room, but they would actually host shows there and theatrical shows, and it was really cool. And there's a guy that watches over the theater, and you respect him. And if you're going to walk on a stage, you ask for, you just say like, you don't, it's not to say permission, it's more like respectfully, I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna walk on the stage. It's more or less what you're doing. But it was really just a wonderful tour, just going around. And like I said, that feeling of darkness that I was expecting and negativity wasn't there. It was different. It felt like this house was just used to this, because it is a normal thing for people to come and tour this house. So whatever energy resides in the house, it just felt very like they're here. And the tour guy said sometimes when he's walking around the house after, he locks up and everyone leaves, he's heard voices say, "Oh, they're gone." So we started with the courthouse room, and, he just went over each piece of equipment. We had the rods, we had the EMF meters. I believe there was a music box. I didn't use the music box, but I believe it was there. We had the cat balls. And there was just so much equipment that, as someone who grew up watching Ghost Hunters, Ghost Adventures, Sam and Colby, using them for the first time was really cool. I've seen them once before, because the store that they make this equipment in is located in Lynchburg, Virginia, where I went to college. And they actually made that their main location right at the end of my time in Lynchburg. And I went and actually saw the store and spoke to the guy who runs it. And we had a really cool conversation talking about our experiences with the paranormal, and it's really nice to be able to share that experience with that guy, or just like all the people at the Whaley house, just sharing that experience of like, we're all seeing this, right? Like, he's using the rods up at the front of the courthouse, like, we're seeing this. When you use the equipment, you see it being touched and stuff, you're like, I'm in here in the room, nothing is manipulating that. So after the tour, we had the house basically to ourselves for the next like hour and a half, and I thought it was really cool that they just said, "Hey, lights are off in the house. You have a couple like little lamps here and there just to help guide you through, but the house is yours. Go venture forth and, see what you can get." This was what was really cool, is I went to the theater room, because I grew up doing theater. I thought that would be the fitting first place to do. And, I still do performing to this day, obviously, here on YouTube and on TikTok. Mr. Thomas, are you in a room with us? I'd love to talk to you. And Mr. Whaley, if that's you walking through the house, can you turn the light off if that's you walking through?
Hi. Is somebody sitting near me?
Oh.
It's okay to sit back here too.
Yeah.
There are enough people in here.
Is that you, Mr. Whaley? If that's you, can you move the ball? I apologize.
Pride.
Get out of here now. It is so cold out there, let me tell you. All right, I'm trying to think of another bit of material.
Oh, that thing, I mean, it's on.
Oh, really? You're liking this, huh?
I think he wants more.
He wants more? Okay. Well, let's talk about the annual family vacation.
So I went in there and I talked to the guy, and I said, may I step on the stage? Walked up on the stage and just kind of stood around, and you just felt this energy, just like, you're not alone in this theater. And I'm looking around, and it's a very well-made theater room for like a very tiny community theater. It's very well made. Another couple came in there with me, and he went up on the stage and did like a whole monologue, and and the lights started going, and we had the EMF meter, and it said, would you like for us to leave, or would you like for him to get off stage? And it like lit up, and I was like, whoever the entity that was watching over the theater room was very much like, you've had your time. And I went in there later in the night, and it was just me in there, and I talked to the entity, and I was getting little responses, but it's very slow. It almost felt like he didn't want to talk. And so I said, would you like me to leave? And it went, and I think it was the EMF thing, and it went, shut up, yes. And I'm like, oh, okay. All right, I'll leave. If there's anyone in here in the room with me, can you turn on the flashlight, please? I can sit in the audience. How's the cat ball? And he's rolling. Slanted. If you don't want me in here, can you turn on the flashlight to let me know? Okay. If you don't want me in here, I'll leave. But it's a wonderful theater you have. But I also went into the room of Mrs. Whaley, where her spirit has been seen looking out the window. Obviously, she lost her kids in there, so it's a lot of trauma for her. So I walked into the room, and with the cat ball and the I can't remember what the name of the thing, but the box that can translate their energy into words. It has like a word bank, and it uses the energy to say those words. And I know you've been through a lot, Mrs. Whaley. I'd just love to offer my condolences. There's a ball over by the window. If you go by the window and light it up and let me know you're here. I'll leave this here. If you want to communicate, you can speak through the box as well. Fit? Like my fit? Shorts and t-shirts, not too proper. It's probably really improper compared to what you're used to. Feel I'm underdressed, I apologize for coming in here underdressed. Norman. Is there a Norman in here? If there's a Norman in here, can you touch one of the devices in here? The cat balls weren't lined up, but I knew something was in there with me. And then I started asking questions like, Mrs. Whaley, you were in the house. I know there was a lot of tragedy in here. I just want to say that I'm sorry for anything you had to experience. And I know what it's like to lose a family member. Through the voice bank, it was kind of like, hello. And then it was, get out, run away. And so I quickly got out the room. I went, oh boy. And they were like, what? I said, I was just told to get out and run. So I am promptly leaving the room. Now we had, the only room that was off limits was Thomas's room, the room of the little boy who died in the house. And I did some investigations in the other rooms. Nothing really was happening too much. But then I went to the parlor, and our tour guide was doing an investigation in there, and we were getting a little bit of answers on the EMF meter, but it wasn't a whole lot. But I felt like there was just an energy in there. And then there's like the general store room where Mr. Whaley had his store, where it was this. Now, this was the funny thing. When me and the tour guide were conducting an investigation, I had the word bank going and went drunk. And the tour guide went, oh, well, we're right by the general store where they sold alcohol. And for me, who's still a little buzzed from the tequila shot that they gave me at the Mexican restaurant, I'm like, yeah, that's it. The ghost isn't telling. I mean, I was sober the whole time, but I had fully locked in at that point. I was going up and down stairs. I was completely fine. But it was just kind of funny. But I went to the general store and I had a dowsing rods because I said, the EMF meters, sometimes it takes time. The cat balls, sometimes it takes time. I said the dowsing rods seem to be almost like an immediate, like they attract to it. I had the dowsing rods in the general store, and you hold them like this, and I'm telling you honest to everything, guys. I did not put any pressure on these rods. I just held them like this and said, let's see what happens. So I went to the general store and I was holding them, and I said, is anyone in here in the room? And if it says yes, cross the rods. Cross. Okay. And there was like portraits of, the different people that lived in the house. And I said, can you point me in the direction of, if you are one of these people on the wall, can you point me in the direction? Pointed directly to Thomas. And I went, Thomas, are you in here with me? Boom. Thomas, what part is your favorite part of the room? Turn to the right and kind of pointed to the kitchen where Marianne's entity is said to reside a lot. And I was just having like a bunch of communications with Thomas, and the answers I was getting, I was asking questions like, you seem very talkative with me. Are you glad that I'm here? Cross. And I was the youngest person there, and I'm a guy, so he maybe saw me as like a friend, brother. Granted, now let me also preface this, like, we're saying we're talking to Thomas. We don't know what Thomas is. Is Thomas a ghost, spirit, or something darker? I don't know, and that's why we say we leave it at the house. So I'm talking to Thomas, And I'm like, would you want me to come back? Cross. It's like we're doing like a solo thing. Cross. Which, you know, like when someone's pulling you in because you don't know if it is something dark, they're like, yeah, come on back. Come on back. But obviously, I'll be with the tour guide and I'll be protected by my holy shield, protected by God. So that's why I'm able to kind of go into these places and not be fearful, is because I'm not going to tamper with it. And I got the armor of God around me at all times. I'm talking to Thomas, and you know, it just feels like the answer I'm getting is like he's very glad I'm there. And these thousand rods, I mean, they're going back and forth. I have a little bit of footage of the thousand rods in a minute. I'm gonna show you guys, and you'll see them move a little bit in the shot, but it's not great. So anyway, we go into another room, and we all stand in a circle, and it's like an EMF session. I have the whole session. I'll play a little bit for you guys here. I didn't really get any evidence on my recording. That's not to say someone else didn't, but I personally didn't get any. You know, with stuff like that, is hit or miss. And we were using iPhones. iPhones, you can catch the stuff on an iPhone, but you know, there are some pieces of equipment that are a little bit better for capturing evidence when asking questions with the EMF fields and energy fields, all that stuff. So, Mrs. Whaley, if you're in here with us, does it make you feel better that there are other people in here that get to hear your story and can understand the pain you went through and understand and try to feel you out? Oh, yeah. If there's any spirits in the room with us, is there a reason that you still are here in this house? I didn't personally catch anything. I listened to it a couple times, but maybe someone did. And if you're watching this video and you were on that tour, I would love to know if you caught anything on your recording. So after that, I still had the dowsing rods, and so I went to the parlor where the tour guide and I were doing an investigation earlier, and this was the coolest thing. This was the craziest thing. I was talking to Thomas, but I said, is Marianne in here too? And the rods were struggling to come close. And it was almost like Marianne's pulling on one, Thomas is pulling on the other. And I was like, Thomas, are you in here? And he start to cross. And I said, Thomas, I'm talking to Marianne right now. You can come back in a sec. I was like, you can use the rods in a second, but I'm just talking to Marianne right now. And you literally, when I tell you, they were just pulling apart like this when I was talking to him. When I said, Thomas, can you let go just so I can talk to Marianne for 1 second? Immediately cross. Because he let go. And when I tell you, I could feel the tension come off the rod. Because there's tension. You can feel a little bit of tension. It's not me doing anything. I'm holding it as straight as possible. But when I tell you, and this is on the footage. This is on the footage. Like I said, you can't really see it, but this is part of it. And you see the rod cross because he let go, and Marianne's like, yeah, I'm here too. I'm gonna stand right here, okay? All right. Thomas, if you're still in here, can you cross these for me, please? Thank you, Thomas. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for crossing them. Marianne, if you're still in the corner, can you point the rods in your direction, please? Thank you. It's lovely to visit with you guys. You have a lovely house here. Would y'all want me to come back? Thomas said he wants me to come back. Marianne, do you want me to come back too? I know there's multiple of you in here, but Thomas, I'm talking to Marianne right this second. Marianne, would you like me to come back? Thank you, Marianne. Thank you. Thomas said he wants me to come back too. I think I'm gonna have to come back. I'm gonna have to come back, okay? I'll make sure to come back. Y'all look cool. Thank you guys. Marianne, what's your favorite part of the room? Can you point me to your favorite part of the room, please? You like all parts of the room? It's a cool room. Marianne or Thomas, if one of you would like to give me a hug before I leave, would you like to give me a hug, please? At both of you? Or are y'all trying to fight who's gonna give me a hug first? Y'all are cool. I feel the love. Thank you guys. Alright, I'm gonna say goodbye, okay? I'll see y'all later, alright? I'll make sure to come back. Cross the rods, we're cool? We're cool? We're cool? Heck yeah, we're cool. And so I asked Marianne questions of like, do you like me being here? Do you like people coming through? And the question I got, the vibe I got was like, we're fine with people. We like you, but we're fine with people coming through. It's not something we're necessarily crazy about, but we do like the company and more youthful energy like I have. So it was really sweet. And, you know, if you are talking to kid spirits, you know, it is kind of sweet. If you're talking to something darker, it's not sweet. So that's the kind of back and forth you get with something like that. It was just a really cool experience because as someone who's always believed in paranormal, watched the paranormal videos, and I've had paranormal experiences, like I don't have any questions of if it's real or not. I've had enough happen, it's real. But you just kind of see these things firsthand that you've seen on camera, and now you're experiencing it for yourself in these places that you've seen, you know, the best of the best when it comes to paranormal investigators. And now you get to do it on your own and get similar results. That was amazing for me. And it was just a great 2-hour experience of touring the house, great group of people we were touring with. I just want to go back and do it again. You know, now that I know what I'm in for, know the rooms better, know who I'm talking to better. Yeah, it was just an amazing house, and you could really feel, you know, Thomas Whaley throughout the house. I believe that I talked to Thomas for a minute in the parlor room. I believe there was, it's not on camera, but I believe for a couple of seconds, I said, Thomas Whaley, you in here? And it did cross, and then obviously Little Thomas took over. And you could feel where Anna Whaley, the wife of Thomas Whaley, was in the house. You could feel her energy. Like when I said, when I was in a room, didn't get a whole lot of direct communication, but you could just feel that morning energy in the room, which was really heavy. And then you had just so many great experiences in the house, and it was so welcoming. It didn't feel dark. Like I said, it felt active. And like they were like, all right, people are here. That was my experience at the Whaley house. And then when we were leaving, we did like a little prayer, you know, to kind of protect ourselves, but also to make sure whatever is in the house stays in the house. And so when we left, it just felt very like, all right, we're good. Walked outside, talked to the guy about coming back and doing it again. And yeah, went back to the hotel, slept for 4 hours, and got up to go to the airport the next morning. But it was a fantastic experience at the Whaley house, you know, getting to experience the paranormal. Like I said, I'm not trying to make believers out of anyone watching this. It's just what happened in my life, and you can take it for how you want to take all the information I just gave you. But definitely recommend it if you're in the San Diego area. Great tour, great experience. I just cannot wait to do it again and do it for YouTube for you guys. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Happy Halloween, as it is Halloween week. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Make sure to like this video if you enjoyed. Make sure that bell button down below so notified every single time I upload a brand new video to the channel. Make sure to go stream my new album, Live Again, wherever you listen to your music. Go check out the TikTok where we go live several days a week, and I post 4 times on there a day. And go check out the Patreon, a bunch of content on there every single weekday. And my name is Will Morris, and I'm out. Peace.